Hello, guys, and welcome to another one. This one is going to be about the Friends and Family event, December 24th to the 26th, and it begins UTC 0 on the 24th. So, this one is going to have all the pets in the game available for these 2 days. You will only be able to get the codexable pets if you codex the monsters in the dragon roosts, but every other pet should be available. But if you had to codex to see the pet, you will have to have that codex, and you will not be able to do that because the pets are coming, not the events. The events aren't coming with these, and the events are especially not coming with this. So the dragons, if you have not codexed them, they're definitely out. Now I will talk about the pets that I think you guys should look out for across the classes, and I'll go ahead and start with the Kerberos. There is a baby version. I think it's tier 5, I want to say, and that gives you all 4 alignments, and alignments are really good in endless running. So Kerberos is good for that, or you can get one of the disciples of Apollyon. They also come in a lower tier, and the difference between the lower tier and the higher tier would be the Orn spend versus the gold spend. Now, I was a noob when I got them, so I have both versions of them, but I'm going to recommend that you guys get the lower tier versions of them. So the little baby versions would be ideal. So this is the baby Kerberos tier 5, and as you can see, the 4 alignments I just told you about, and these are the baby Apollion's pupils I just mentioned that do the same thing, but they do them individually. So they're differentiated by the look, and each does a different alignment. So this makes it easier for you to get the alignment that you want by simply picking the disciple that has it, or the pupil that has it, as you will be buying the tier 5 version and not the tier 10 versions. So yeah. So I skipped the Surtur's Flame because it's not that useful overall, especially down the road. But if you are an earlier tier, it's one of those that does a bit of damage. So you can check it out, especially if it is sold for gold, which I do believe it is. I think they have a baby one that is cheap, so you can definitely check that one out. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Glaciant. Alright. Okay. I think it's Glatisson, but I don't know. And this one doesn't have anything special. I think the best thing it probably has is Wyvern Speed 3, which you really wouldn't be bringing a pet for that. But collectors can get this one. I personally have it, but I've never used it before. Next we have the Scrooge, and this one is an interesting one because I actually like his abilities, the tier 9 version, but it's just hard to use. So I would use this guy in some type of assassin type build with Beowulf, maybe PvP, but it's not that necessary, so I'm gonna gloss over it, but it is a cool one to have. The baby version, it costs gold, so you just have to buy it. Okay, this bird, Gulin Nambi or something like that. Oh god, please spare me from trying to pronounce names. But he's a bit useless. The best thing he does is give you temporary dexterity up 3. And I don't really know what you would want that for. Maybe if you're, to be fair, if you're getting carried through something like dungeons or whatever, that dexterity up, like increasing your base dexterity, would be massive. So maybe if you can't survive, but you're using a deity, a baby deity, and you want to try to dodge more while someone is carrying you through a world raid boss or something. I don't know, guys, but It's just one of those other ones that it's up to you if you can find a use for it. I'll just go to Archimedes because it's like his brother. They're basically twins, and that one does have something useful you might want for certain builds. I myself need it. It gives you temporary magic up 3 through its skill Great Meditation. And it is a really interesting one. It has a bunch of other skills that you might find a nuisance when you're trying to get Great Meditation, but it is worth a test, and I do believe it is maybe tier 7. So yeah, you can see the other things it has, and it has Ponder as well, which gives you the team magic up. So that one is an interesting one to have. Like, this pet is an interesting pet for sure, and it only costs gold, and it's actually T6, not T7. Next we have the Ceros pets. So there are 3 Ceros pets, a tier 7 baby one and 2 tier 9 ones. So honestly, and you can see one is for a more mage style Bayo raiding, and one would be for a more melee style raiding. But I'm not sure if these can come up against something like Faljar or whatever that one is called. Like, he does massive damage, but this one might be interesting because he does break. And what break does is it ensures that once it is on the opponent's next few moves while it's on will be a bit weaker. It should be 20% according to this website too, the single down, but I'm not positive. So I do trust the information on the website though, so I'm fairly positive. So yeah, it could work out for something like that. It could be interesting to see. I might buy them because they're so cheap and try it, but I would not recommend that you buy them. You can buy the baby one if you're a collector though. Next we have the scary skeleton here, and the very scary skeleton. And these guys are actually really nice. I really like both of them. They have the same skill set. Fright is really nice. It makes it so that you can blind, stun, and lull someone or like a monster. And Wallop gives them the temporary defense or resistance down. I really like this in Endless. Even with Ashen Phoenix, if I'm doing distance Endless and I realize that I have something really tough, like I might switch out. If I already have DC up, I might switch out and try to maybe stun it and use this as the debuffer while I stun it. So I immobilize it, and then this one weakens its defenses. So strategies like that. This is also a nice one for PvP. It's in general a nice one. Even when you're doing duo raids, it's nice. So it's all up to what you prefer, but I strongly recommend picking up at least one of these. I like the tier 9 one, but you've noticed the trend by now. I just buy the orange one for some strange reason. I'm not sure if they share the same strength though. That's the only reason I would say maybe pick up the T9 one, because I do know that T6 pets are still level 250 when I have them, the same as the T10 pets, but I do believe their stats would be the difference. So the penetration of the attack would be the difference. So I would pick up the tier 9 one, and it's only 1 million orns. We are on to what I believe is the best pet in the game, the Ashen Phoenix. Though it has been recently changed, it's kind of goofy now, but all pets were changed. So I'm not going to say it has been changed. The pet AI was changed, and the behavior of the Ashen Phoenix was changed with that. So I guess it was intended, but it made the Ashen Phoenix a bit worse than it was, but it still holds up overall. It just does useful things a little bit less. It just does useful things just a bit less. So you have to really learn the Phoenix now and know the limits of it, because it seemed limitless once, but it does have its limits now. So, but 10 out of 10 regardless, it's just so nice to have, especially for certain classes. It's not going to be the go-to for every class, depending on what you're doing especially, but I feel like every class can benefit from this pet in some way. Maybe not Beowulf, and obviously the petless class summoners can't, but you get what I mean.